Hi, I am Girish Rao, advocate and solicitor. Today I am going to speak on redevelopment of a building in a cooperative housing society. You are aware that when it is redevelopment of a building in a cooperative society, it always used to be marred with controversies. The managing committee often used to be non-transferable, non-transparent. There used to be instances where they used to conceal everything from the general body. They used to mislead the general body. Consent of the member used to be taken by giving something which is not true. Therefore, often the dispute used to be land up in some courts. So when this thing started, the government thought that there should be a circular, a process should be laid down, which has to be followed by all cooperative societies. They issued a circular on 3rd of January 2009. That over a period of time, government had experienced what's happening in this cooperative field, the way things proceed. So therefore, they have issued a further circular on 4th July 2019 for the process to be followed in respect of redevelopment to be done in a cooperative society. So let's understand what is the process which has to be followed. One of the key elements under the new circular of 4th July 2019 is that a society should develop a website on which everything related to the redevelopment has to be posted on the website. How the accessibility should be given only to the member and not available to the general public will have to be seen technically, and that can be worked out. But basically, all information will have to be made available on the website of the society so that no member will say that he was not furnished with this information, nor society or the managing committee will say that all the information were available on the website. This will avoid to a lot extent the controversy in respect of the transparency of the redevelopment project. So now let's see what is the process. The process is that first SGM will have to be called. SGM can be called by the secretary for considering the redevelopment or at the requisition of 1/5 member of the society. Now, when requisition is received from 1/5 member, the secretary has to place that requisition before the managing committee within 8 days. And the SGM is to be called within 2 months from the date of requisition. And for calling SGM, a 14 days notice should be given to the members. Otherwise, normally an SGM can be called by giving just 5 days notice. But since it's a redevelopment, all members should get an opportunity to understand the redevelopment and get also opportunity to give their proposal. Now it is very clearly stated that 14 days notice should be given before the SGM. In the meantime, the secretary is expected that he will get 3 quotations from the project management consultant, from the who are on the list of registrar, or from the architect for being appointed as a project management consultant. So in the first AGM, which is called, in that it will have to be decided whether society should go for redevelopment of the project or not. So when first SGM is called, the society will decide whether they want to go for redevelopment or not. If society decides that they want to go for a redevelopment, in that case, the project consultant, management consultant is appointed. That is, PMC is also appointed. So in first SGM, basically 2 agendas are there. One is whether to go for redevelopment or not. And if society decides they are going to go for redevelopment, then one more step, that is appointment of the project management consultant. Now project management consultant is appointed. His appointment is very much important because thing is that he is a person who will decide, who will give feasibility report. Feasibility report is required so that society knows what is the potential of their property, how much FSI is available, how much TDR can be loaded. On basis of all this information, the society can decide how much they can demand from the developer, how much could be the additional area, how much could be the corpus fund. All those factors can be decided once a report is received from the project management consultant. In first SGM, when society decides to go for redevelopment and PMC is appointed, the secretary has to get into an agreement with the secretary, means the managing committee has to enter into agreement with the project management consultant within 8 days, laying out all his scope of work for doing the redevelopment of the project. Once project management consultant is appointed, he is supposed to go through the property title, whether the conveyance is there, how much FSI is available, what is the TDR which can be loaded, and then come with the feasibility of the project, give in detail those projects. The PMC is expected that he should complete his all due diligence of the project within 2 months. Once PMC completes the project, PMC submits a report after its due diligence feasibility. It is placed before the managing committee. Managing committee thereafter goes through the feasibility report and all those things. Then basically decides what should be the demand which should be made from the developer in respect of corpus fund, in respect of additional area which society will get. So when this whole process is completed, when management receives the report of the PMC, they decides to go for the tendering, for inviting the developer. One of the criteria which has been prescribed under the circular is that he should have at least one registered project under RERA. That is one of the criteria. So once management committee receives the project management report, the managing committee and the project management, that is a PMC, will issue a tender in the newspaper and invite the developer for giving the proposal. Once the proposal is received, the proposal will be scrutinized by the managing committee and the PMC, and after that they will shortlist few developers. They are expected at least 3 developers are shortlisted, and those developers are placed before that, they make a report and their report is placed before the general body. When this report comes before the general body, that is a special general body meeting, the special general body will then, after considering the report, and also in the special general body meeting, it will be always advisable also to call the developer who has given the proposal, so that if any negotiation for additional area or additional corpus fund can be decided in the meeting and call can be taken. In this SGM, it is also required that authorized person from the office of DDR, that is the registrar office, also attends. For that also request will have to be made for the registrar to appoint this authorized officer, who will also attend the meeting, and this meeting also has to be video recorded. The reason behind all those things is that there will be an entire transparency, so that no concealment happens, so that a member cannot tomorrow say again that this was never discussed in the SGM, and even the managing committee cannot say that. So the total transparency in the whole process, the video recording of the meeting should also take place. Other important fact is that even after first SGM, the consent should be taken from 51% of the member, and that consent has to be in writing. Understand this thing. The consent or approval for the redevelopment of the project has to be by 51% of the members of the society. And in the quorum to discuss the redevelopment, the minimum requirement of the attendance is 67%, that is 1/3%, which is approximately 67%. So out of 100 member, let us assume a society is having 100 member, minimum 67 members should remain present for the SGM, which are called for the redevelopment of the society, of the building. And minimum 51% of the members should give a consent. Understand this very clearly, 51% of the members of the society, not 51% of the members attending the meeting. So there has to be, when there is 100 members in the society, 51 members should give a consent for the redevelopment, otherwise redevelopment will not take place. And another thing, if quorum is less than 67%, 1/3 member, in that case the meeting has to be adjourned, and adjourned meeting has to be held within 1 month, and for adjourned meeting also 7 days notice has to be given. And even for adjourned meeting, quorum is not present, then it's decided that redevelopment is not going to take place. No redevelopment will be done of the society. And again, similar meeting cannot be called for next 3 months. So this is basically in respect of quorum for the meeting, which is for SGM, and also the consent of the member, which is required. So now we are coming to the second meeting, in which society has got a tender from the developer, and now it is before the SGM. The SGM will have to consider from the proposal which is received, who should be appointed as a developer, and then agreement will have to be entered with the developer by the managing committee. So society in that second SGM finalizes the developer who is appointed as a developer for doing the redevelopment, and the terms and condition which is agreed with him. So after that is done, then society, the managing committee should get into agreement with the developer. And so that development process starts, redevelopment of the building starts. But I will suggest one more thing, that once agreement is finalized, that agreement should also be placed before SGM. Call one more SGM. Call one more SGM and get that agreement also approved in the SGM to avoid any controversy. Now, what should be there in the agreement? One is that they should take minimum 20% project cost bank guarantee from the developer. See, understand what is the 20% of the project cost. So project cost will also include the redeveloped building and also additional building which will be available for the sale of the members of the society. Not member of the society, free sale component. So it will be entire project cost, and of that 20% will have to be taken as a bank guarantee, so that if tomorrow if he is unable to develop or he doesn't develop, then you can enforce the bank guarantee. Next part, you will have to clearly mention what is the additional area which is to be given to the member. Then the area should be mentioned as per the carpet area stated in the RERA. And also about the alternate accommodation, where alternative accommodation will be given, or if not, then what is the rent which will be given. So all those things should be incorporated in the development agreement which will be entered between the society and the developer. And in that also you will have to mention about the alternate accommodation agreement or I will suggest alternate accommodation agreement is normally comes when it is a tenanted premises. You will have to here enter into a deed of allotment where there will be a tripartite agreement where developer, society, and also concerned member becomes the the party to the agreement, and that agreement is also registered. Of course, that registration will have to be done only after once approvals are there, commencement certificate is issued, so that you can identify the flat. Now, the flats which are to be given to the members of the society. Ideally, it will have to be on the same floor on which he is at present his flat is there, or else on the basis of lottery system. So some, depending upon the society, some method will have to evolve so that no members are deprived of the floor on which his existing flat is there. So this is a procedure which will have to be followed basically for redevelopment of a building in cooperative society, and if this process is followed, then it will minimize the controversy. So all more particulars about this in detail is given in the circular of 9th July 2019. So you can go through the circular. If you require any assistance, please get in touch with us. We will help you out with the process of redevelopment of the building of the society. Thank you. If you have any query, please do write to us on the email which is given below here. Thank you.